So a lot of federal politicians don't do their own grocery shopping. But for you and I, we know that when you're spending $5 for celery and $3 for cucumbers, something's happening. Brian Lilley does his own shopping as well as writing for the Toronto Sun. He joins me right now because all the federal politicians are saying, we don't know what's going on with these prices, nothing we can do about world prices. And yet, my thesis is that when gas is going up so much, truck drivers have to pay more to get those groceries to the stores. And that's part of it, isn't it?
That is part of it. And look, anybody that tells you inflation is solely an international problem is lying to you. Anybody that tells you...
Wait a second. Are you suggesting that Justin Trudeau is lying to Canadian people?
Yes, but anybody that tells you that it's just Justin Trudeau's fault is also lying to you.
Yes.
It's a mix. There's international issues at play. There's regional North American issues. There's domestic too. Look, the Bank of Canada has said the federal spending contributed to inflation. January 1st, we had 2 payroll taxes go up. Now, CPP and EI, they say, oh, those aren't payroll taxes. That's what they call them in opposition. And guess what? If you're an employer, you have to pay them and you get no benefit. So it's a tax. Those all went up. We're going to have the carbon tax go up April 1st. The alcohol escalator tax go up. Everyone says
the carbon tax,
it's just a little bit of money, Stephen.
That's for a higher purpose, to decarbonize the world. So the truck driver going from Leamington up to Toronto can do his or her part to decarbonize. But the point is, really, it's costing a lot more for fruits and vegetables.
It absolutely is. Look, tomatoes, you mentioned Leamington, tomatoes up 21.9% according to StatsCan in December. 21.9 compared to the same time period last year. Other fresh fruits and vegetables up 11.7%. Non-alcoholic beverages like pop, sparkling water, things like that, 16%. How does a family deal with that? Look, I'm a frugal shopper. I know how to work a budget. Recently wrote a column on 10 ways to save at the grocery store. You're having numbers like that, you really have to pinch pennies because something that cost you $100 last year cost you $111. But last year's $100 worth of groceries was up more because inflation's been going up for a year and a half.
But if your salary is not going up, or if your hourly wage is not going up, Ottawa, all the wages go up, of course, because all those civil service need cost of living increases. So do you think there's a disconnect where they don't really understand what's going on in the rest of Canada?
I think so. Look, Pierre Poilievre has been smart. He's been on this for a long time. He calls it just inflation. He has been harping about it since before it became headline news constantly. He was saying this is going to be a problem. You're right about Trudeau, though. He doesn't buy his own groceries. His chef does. That's fine. That happens with all the prime ministers. But he's off buying organic. He's reimbursing the taxpayer, only part of that. He doesn't understand this. He's a trust fund baby, quite literally. The family's been wealthy since the 30s. He's never had to worry about this. He can't relate to what average Canadians are dealing with.
But they relate to Brian Lilley in the Sun. And thank you very much. 3 minutes. You have just heard another discussion that would not be allowed on the Trudeau-funded state media. Not just the CBC, but all the other media that gets hundreds of millions of dollars from the government. So if you want a discussion of ideas, stick with us. Please subscribe. And if you can, PayPal, because we need a little bit of dollars to keep this going. Thank you.